Vostok-Europe, based in Vilnius, Lithuania, builds watches designed for going to extremes. Professional-grade dive, pilot, and racing watches alongside other rugged sports timepieces ready for all conditions. To achieve the level of quality required for this, Vostok-Europe conducts strict construction and quality control procedures at every step of the manufacturing process. This all starts with insisting that every watch bearing the VE name is hand-assembled in their factory in Vilnius. VE employs 7 full-time watchmakers with combined experience of more than 150 years to construct each watch by hand. The quality control process begins before the units actually enter assembly, with each component being inspected individually and all watch movements, the engines of the timepiece, being tested for accuracy and durability before they are mounted into the case, which refers to the outer metal housing. Each watchmaker can complete 15 to 20 pieces per day, depending on the complexity of the movement, the case, and materials of the watch. Simple math demonstrates that Vostok-Europe is a boutique brand focused on quality over quantity, with a maximum of 25 to 30,000 watches per year passing through the hands of their skilled watch technicians, a fraction of larger watch companies. Over the years, both to save money and ensure only the best possible results of construction, Vostok-Europe has employed several unorthodox methods and tools.
It's a very simple construction, just cylinder with 6 pins, but they ideally fit to the case back.
As opposed to using the one where you have to size it.
Yes, and we do not scratch the case.
It's very good. Isn't that just ingenious?
Yeah, that's clever.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
Simple,
Yes.
but it works,
But effective.
and it doesn't
Workable
scratch.
construction, yes.
And you're not having the slippage that you get with
Yes.
the ones you have to,
Yes.
to screw into place.
Yes, and for each diameter we have special key, case opener.
The case back is a separate, usually flat metal part that allows for access to the unit's mechanisms in the future. This is one of the final steps in the fabrication process. Rather than acquiring Swiss-made adjustable wrenches, which may be prone to slippage and scratching the case material, VE uses tools that are a perfect fit for each caseback from the different model lines that are constructed by a local tooling company. A simple, less expensive, and effective way of dealing with the arduous task of tightening a caseback efficiently and effectively on a watch without scratching it in the process. Once assembly is complete, each watchmaker then tests the timepiece again for accuracy before it goes to another group of technicians for additional scrutiny. In the case of automatic watches, this includes a multi-day trip in the world's largest watch winder, an 8-drum rotating behemoth that is capable of holding 1,200 watch heads, watches without straps, at a time. This is another unexpected and specialty apparatus Vostok-Europe employs. Originally housed at the first Moscow watch factory in Russia, the original home of Polyot, the massive custom-built winding machine was built in 1973. When Polyot shut down in the mid-2000s, the winder was gifted to VE, but the cost of transportation across 2 borders without official paperwork was substantial. Rewired and rebuilt, the workhorse is a critical component to Vostok-Europe's construction process. Once the units have been fully wound, they are then again each individually tested in a 6-position time grapher, which is a device with a microphone which listens to the heartbeat of the watch to ensure it is keeping proper time. Each automatic watch mainspring, the drivetrain which propels the timekeeping, has a particular number of vibrations per hour. The time grapher tests that the beats are marking the time correctly and gives a readout of the results.
Just the mechanical watches, yeah?
Just the mechanical. We have special devices for it, and we test every watch in different positions. Dials up, then crown down,
Okay.
then case back. This position.
So in each of those positions, the watch is tested for how long?
Just few minutes,
yeah.
but we see from the diagram that the accuracy correspond or not correspond to our requirements.
Okay.
It's quite fast test. It's clear, very clear.
Okay. Do you know, in 35 years, I've never known that you test in so many different positions.
Every watch has to be tested in at least few different positions of watch.
Okay.
The multiple positions for testing simulate the movement of the wrist, as mechanical watches, those with jeweled movements and a winding spring, will keep different time depending on their angle. If a watch fails this test, it then goes back to the watchmaker for adjustment. No timepiece will leave Vostok-Europe that does not pass the 6-position timegrapher test. The final hurdle for the timepieces of VE before they can pass inspection is the water resistance test. This is particularly vital as almost all Vostok-Europe watches are professional-grade dive watches, meaning they are 200 meters water resistant or more.
We close the chamber. The sensor is measuring case deformation under air pressure.
Okay.
And this deformation has to be stable, cannot change.
Okay.
If it's, for example, if it's the deformation, then deformation disappear, that means that it's a leakage. It's
Okay. So you're looking for a distortion in the case?
Yes,
Okay.
so deformation must be stable.
Okay.
So every watch passes test within approximately 5 minutes.
VE owns 4 pressure testing devices that cost roughly $12,000 each. These machines use compressed air to test the strength of all the seals on the watches to ensure they will pass the threshold set for testing. If they fail, there is a backup device that uses actual water to find the source of the leak, which really just means looking for bubbles, and then they correct it. For the top line dive watches, VE includes a copy of the testing results with each unit, so the owner will know their watch met their strenuous testing requirements.
This is then given the serial number of the watch inside the machine there.
This readout also carries the limited edition number that corresponds to each watch handwritten on it. From start to completion, each Vostok-Europe hand-assembled timepiece undergoes a 28-point inspection process before they are shipped to the company's 32 worldwide distributors. This ensures that each Vostok-Europe watch will live up to the promise of going to extremes.
Vostok!